Good morning. Just doing that thing where I check I'm in the right group. Hope everyone's okay. I think I'm in the right group. Morning, morning, morning. Hope you're all okay and you're bright and early on this Saturday. It's been a bit of a shock to the system to have to get ready so early since we haven't been in lockdown. But yeah, excited. What an exciting day we've got. So many incredible trainings. I think I'm in the right group. I'm just checking. It's taking a while to load. Hello, thank you. Thank you for that. Brill. Okay, I'll just give it a second. I've gone a bit wobbly. Morning. So I have come on to talk to you today about the importance of your circle in relation to your business, but also in relation to your life. So I have got some notes here, so I will be trying to keep checking them because I've got quite a lot I want to share with you. But it's something I'm quite passionate about, really, and I think it does have a massive impact on you and your business. So it's definitely something we're thinking about. So I will keep checking my notes, as I say, but I hope you get a lot from it. And there's so much more training we can watch today on so many different things. So you've got a great day. Okay, so in terms of your success in your career, in your job, or whatever, however you want to look at it, it's really easy to assume that your success is determined by how hard you work, how smart you are, how well you did at school. And we are actually conditioned all the way through our lives to believe that. It's kind of assumed it's a way of the world. If you do really well at school, if you're smart, if you put the work in, if you go to university, you can get a good job, you can earn lots of money. But actually, hopefully, lots of you know, and if you don't yet, then you will soon know that it doesn't necessarily have to be like that. You know, there are lots of other factors that will impact on how successful you are. There are lots of people, well, not lots of people, I've heard a few leaders within Sensi when they've done training say that they didn't do very well at school, so they didn't really expect to do great things after school. But it's obviously wrong. One of the factors within that is their circle, the circle around them and the circle that they keep. Okay, so let me just check where I'm up to. So if you look at the world outside of Sensi as well, there are so many successful people, famous people, successful people that, you know, in terms of business, that perhaps didn't do very well at school, yet you can see that they are multimillionaires. You know, it doesn't determine school and hard work and all the rest of it. Yes, it does take hard work to be successful. It does take time, but it's about how you apply yourself and how you do that. But obviously your circle and the people that you have around you is a massive influence on how well you do. And if you look at a lot of the leaders that we've got, a lot of people that have been really successful with Sensi, a huge part of that success is about the people they have around them and the circle that supports them. Okay, so have you heard, I don't know how many of you have ever heard people talk about your circle of five. Hopefully lots of you heard it in lots of, you know, in different terms, perhaps not really thought about what it really means and how it really impacts on you. But there's also the phrase that you've probably heard a lot, your vibe attracts your tribe. Yeah, so, you know, they are really, really quite important. They aren't just things that are bandied about. They are really important to, I'm going to come back to the comments later because I'll get distracted. They are really important to your life and to your success in business, right? So this is across the board. I am talking about business, but it is applied across life as well. Okay, so there's a guy that was there was a man, he's not with us anymore, called Jim Rohn, and he was an entrepreneur, but he was also a really good motivational speaker, and some of his quotes are really quite powerful. I really love a lot of his quotes. And one of his most famous ones was that you are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. Okay, so we can really very easily underestimate the importance of the company that we keep around us. We need the people around us to be able to challenge us and push us to be better. We need to make sure that our circle of influence, and everybody's circle is going to be different, our circle of influence is the right circle that we need in this moment. Okay? They will help us to lift the expectations we have on ourselves, and they will sometimes we don't know what we're actually capable of until we see others around us achieve, and perhaps the other people in our circle and what they're doing with their lives and how far, you know, how their positivity and their mindset and everything else is taking them, and that can have a massive influence on us. Okay. So I think that every single one of us, with being part of this incredible company, being part of Scentsy, can relate to that, because we see so many leaders, that people that have done training for us, perhaps people you've not even come across yet in other groups, other director groups. There are so many people who have really been massively successful with this business, and we can look at those and realise that actually the opportunity we've got is incredible. We have this incredible opportunity to be just as successful as they are, and it helps us realise that we are capable of it if we put the work in. Okay, so any one of you can be a director or a superstar director or a star director. You all have it inside of you. Okay, it can be achieved by absolutely anybody. It's not a set thing for a set type of person. If you put the work in and you have the right support network around you, and you make sure that you have the right circle of influence around you to support you in doing that, you can have that title. You can have everything that brings with it, okay? But you just need to make sure the right things are in place. Now, it's important to just mention quickly that obviously times are a little bit different at the moment. So we are in lockdown again. We've been in this pandemic for nearly a year. So your circles at this point to what they are normally like are probably going to be a little bit different. So my current circle literally is just my household, okay? So we don't see anybody else. But obviously outside of lockdown, a physical in-person circle is normally a bit different. So your circles might look a bit different. You might have your circle functioning in a completely different way. So you might have, every other day phone calls with your bestie rather than seeing them. So your circles just might take a little bit of a different form at the moment. But obviously, you need to kind of think about how it is now, but think about how it will be in the future once we come out of this and we can get back to our normal lives, okay? So it's time to ask yourself now, and you need to be honest with yourself. I'm not expecting you to write this in the comments, but you need to think and ask yourself, is your circle that you've got right now a proactive one, okay? Does your circle motivate you? Do they inspire you? Do they push you to be better? Do they encourage you to do something that you love? Do they celebrate with you when you have those wins, when you have those small wins, big wins, whatever they are, something you're really proud of? Do they celebrate with you? Are they supportive? Okay? Or do they criticise you? Do they lack belief in you? Do they bring you down? Do they not understand why you want to do something that is just for you? Because that's what Scentsy was for me when it first started. It was something for me. Okay, I'd become mummy. I was just mummy for so long, and while mummy is amazing, I'd lost a bit of myself. It was something that I could do just for me, and that for a lot of people is the case. We all join Scentsy for different reasons, but you have your own reasons. And do you have a circle that doesn't understand that? Are there people in your circle that are mood hoovers? Do they make you feel bad, or do they make you doubt yourself? Okay. If you think about some of the really harsh circles that can be out there, if you can imagine somebody in a relationship where there's, say, domestic violence, that's a really toxic circle to be in, and that's going to do a lot of damage to that person. So it's about, that person's got to come up with quite a lot of strength and pull on a lot of support to kind of break that circle and make themselves a new one. It can be obviously quite a big task for some people, but lots of circles will be have lots of different elements in, okay? But it's important for you to recognise yours for what it is for you. Okay, so obviously what I'd like you to do, and not on comments, this is personal to you, but I'd like you to write down on paper the people that you spend your most time with, okay? So the 5 people that are in your circle and that you spend the most of your time with, and then go through those questions that I've just asked for each person and apply them to each person on that list. So you can identify whether those people really are the right people to be in your circle, okay? And what they do for you. So the 5 people closest to us have a huge impact on our own thinking, our self-esteem, and the decisions that we make. Okay, your circle needs to be full of like-minded people, people that want you to succeed, positive people who want the best for you. Okay, it's not about what you can do for them; it's what the outcome can be for you. Some criticism is okay as long as it's done in a constructive way. So I'm not saying that, people can't criticise, but you need the people that are going to criticise in the appropriate way to help you move forward, okay? Not bring you down, okay? So we do need people in our circle that will challenge us at times when it's needed, but it's done to influence improvement, okay? And they need to be supportive all that you do, no matter what, okay? Mood hoovers. Yeah, definitely. And there are people out there, aren't there? that are mood hoovers. Okay, so in terms of your circle, you do have to be open to change. If your circle is not what it is and what it needs to be for you right now, you do need to be open to change, okay? But that doesn't necessarily mean bad things. So you need to be able to recognise if your circle needs to change. Your circle will actually evolve over time as well. So you may well have had a circle when you were in secondary school, but they may not be the same circle that you have now because it's evolved, it's had to evolve, okay? But it doesn't mean that those friendships stop, okay? Those friendships don't have to come to an end just because they're not in your circle anymore. It just means that that those people's roles, those persons' roles in influencing you and your behaviours have been diminished, okay? They're not needed anymore. But true friendships will always stand the test of time, so they don't have to leave your lives. It's nothing like that. But you do have to be able to choose where to focus your most valuable time to actually be the best support to you. Okay, so your circle has to be full of like-minded people. So just as some examples, do you want to be healthier? Then you need to surround yourself with healthy people. Do you want to be happier? Surround yourself with happy people. Do you want to be more confident? Surround yourself with confident people. I have seen that so much in this business. People in my team that have completely lacked self-confidence and they've decided to eventually go for it, and the people that they've then surrounded themselves with, that, you know, the support they've had, their confidence has grown so much. It's so powerful. Do you want to be successful? Then you need to surround yourself with successful people. So you can see where I'm going. So when you are around positive-minded people that have a habit of chasing their own dreams and that they take responsibility for their own lives, you'll be inclined to grow in that same positive direction yourself, okay? They will impact on your behaviours, on your thinking. They will move you towards inspired action because you will want to have those changes in your own lives, okay? You need to maximise the amount of time you spend with them. Now, again, in lockdown, that might be a little bit difficult, but obviously moving forward, you really need to maximise your time with the people that really have the best influence on you, because that is where you as a person are going to grow and your business will then grow. So the 5 people in your circle right now might not be the ones that you need in your circle at this current time, okay? So I did say you need to be open to change. They are likely to have been a really, really important part of your journey so far. So we're not going to diminish the responsibility they've had on your journey at all. But it just means that they can't impact you at this current stage, and you might need to move to new people that can impact you and help you help you grow and influence you. Okay? They can still be an important part of your life, but you just need to lean in the direction of those that will have the most positive influence on you right now. Okay, so over time you might find that some of your Scentsy family become some of your circle, and that has happened. I see that there are so many people that have Scentsy consultants within their circle. Okay, they talk on a daily basis, they chat to each other all the time, and it's because they can inspire and lift each other, and they have shared goals and shared passions, and they understand what each person is going through. Okay, they will lift each other, they will inspire each other. You can learn from each other's experiences as well. Be accountable to one another. Have an accountability partner. You might one day, fingers crossed it's soon, you might one day go to a Scentsy event, okay? We've obviously had a few cancelled, but I can tell you they are the most incredible thing ever. And you might make connections with new people there. You might make a really deep connection with somebody there that really becomes part of your circle because you connect on the same level, okay? It's just really important to recognise that you have to connect with people that are at a fairly similar stage to where you're at. So if you were to connect with somebody you met at a Scentsy event, as an example, but they were at a completely different stage to you. So just as an example, if it was somebody that had been with Scentsy, say, for 10 years, they have a downline of over 10,000 people, you've been with Scentsy a year and you've got a team of 20 or 50, you know, you're at very, very different stages. So they're not going to be able to impact on your growth in the way that you want, because you're at completely different stages. You can still learn so much from that person. They have so much they can help you with, so much you can learn from them, so many experiences they've had. But the people in your circle need to be the ones that are at a similar stage to you, so you can grow together with that shared passion. Okay, so let's go back to thinking about your circle now. Okay, I'm sure some of you have heard this, but I hope it's very minimal, but has anybody ever said to you that Scentsy can't be a proper job? It's quite common because a lot of people just don't understand what direct sales is all about and how amazing it can be. Okay, and let's face it, not all direct sales are as amazing as Scentsy, we know that. But it can be quite hard to hear that, can't it? So if you've heard that, did it really eat at you? Did it really upset you? Did it make you doubt yourself? Did it make you doubt that you were doing the right thing? You know, it's quite normal for you to think that. But if you have heard that, if you still hear that, you need to change your circle. It absolutely can be a proper job, okay? If you want it to be your full-time job in the long run, then yes, it absolutely can. You can see loads of us that have done that. I was superstar consultant when I decided to make the leap to do this full-time. And I knew at the time, in terms of income, it was a little bit of a gamble because I was leaving a job that I was doing shift work in quite a difficult and draining job, which I loved. But I knew that I couldn't put any more into my business until I freed up some time. So I did that 15 months ago. And within 3 months, I could see it paying off. And obviously, we've grown so much since then, so it has just flown. If you want it to be a full-time job, it absolutely can be. So it can be a proper job. It can be better than a proper job for lots of reasons that you will all know. Get yourself a new circle. So, where are we? Okay, so just as another example, just relating to that, last year I watched a training by a leader further up in our upline. I'm not going to name names. Further up in our upline. And obviously we've had incredible growth over the last year. She's been full-time, doing it for a really, really long, years and years and years. Huge downline. But there was a month where she was astounded last summer, where she earned $50,000 in a month. Now, if anybody tells you that it can't be a proper job, you tell them that it can be, okay? That's just crazy. And there are Scentsy millionaires out there. We have got Scentsy millionaires. So it does just show how amazing it can be, okay? So this opportunity can be absolutely whatever you dream it to be for you, okay? Whatever it's going to be for you, it absolutely can be. But only if you've got those right people around you in your circle supporting you, okay? You've got to have those right people there. Something in relation to circles that you have to consider is the role that you play in other people's circles as well. So all of these things that we've talked about, you need to assess whether you are being the right supportive person in somebody else's circle, okay? You don't want to be a weak link. You need to be influential to them. You need to be the person that brings out the best in each person, okay? Remember the law of attraction and treat others with the same quality of love and support and advice and guidance that you want to have for yourself, okay? So it's important that you have an influence on others as well. I just want to refer now to Noor Hibbert's book. So there is this book here that I know lots of you have read. I know that lots of you are quite new to Scentsy as well, so I don't know if you've ever come across this yet, but in terms of self-development, this is a really, really good book to read. And she actually did a training for us in the Inspiration Station last year, I think it was, as well. So you could probably find it in there. She's really, really good. But this book is brilliant, but there's a bit where she refers to circles in here, so I just want to kind of cover that a little bit. So she does refer to Jim Rohn's theory of the circle of five, so we're the sum of the 5 people that we spend the most of our time with. Noor believes that we are all balls of energy that are connected to one another, so it makes sense that the energy of those closest to us can have a profound impact and influence on how we feel and how we live our lives, okay? If you spend most of your time with people who go out drinking all of the time, you're likely to do the same. Okay, and it's the same with people that have drugs and addictions, and Noor does quite openly refer to her past in her book. So if you keep surrounding yourself with people that take drugs all the time and have addictions, you're going to have a really difficult time ending those behaviours yourself, because you are still within that circle. They're still going out and taking drugs, as an example. I can just use an example. So you're going to still follow those same patterns and habits, okay? So that's why people with addictions have a really, really hard time ending those addictions, until there's obviously a lot of other factors involved, but they have to leave that circle. They have to leave that circle and make a new one, which when I refer to domestic violence, it's really difficult to do. But they're never going to break those habits and addictions if they're still with the same people, okay? It's human nature for us all to want to fit in and feel like we belong to a group or a family or whatever it is, okay? Even if it means harming the success that we want in life, and the success that we deserve, okay? We do have an ability to think for ourselves, but it's really easy to conform to those around us because we want to feel accepted and loved by those that are immediately around us. And, you know, and not everybody's in the same place emotionally, or, you know, or in a mental health forum, you know, everybody's in a different place. So it can be very, very hard for people to see that and to break those circles. And you know, some of us want to feel loved. It is natural to feel loved and accepted, and some of us hang on to that more than others. So those we spend most of our time with need to inspire us to be our best, to want us to do more, and encourage us to succeed. Okay, this is all from Nora's book. They need to support us to fall. No, they need to support us if we fall to help us rise again, and they should inspire us to be the best version of ourselves by acceptance for who we are when we are being our authentic self. When you become the best version of you and you grow and you develop, you will notice that those around you will start to change as well, okay? Because you've got your circle. And this is sometimes in a negative way, and that's purely because they just don't understand the opportunity you have with this direct sales business, with this Scentsy business that you've got. They just don't understand it, okay? And it can make them really uncomfortable when they see somebody succeeding and they just don't understand why. You know, you've stepped away from the norm, you've stepped away from a 9 to 5, you have this flexible job, this business that you can work around your kids. If your kids are poorly, you don't have to worry about ringing your boss to say you can't come in. You know, we're all in lockdown. We're all able to adapt our businesses and work with whatever circumstances are thrown at us. People don't get it. People don't understand it until they open their minds to be able to perhaps explore joining themselves, for example. And I think when people join themselves, that's when, for a lot of people, that mindset starts to change. They don't understand why people have to change. But it's not your issue, and it's really important to remember that if that happens, it's not your problem, okay? It can be really, really hard to digest that. You know, like I'm one of these people that will sit with me for a while. If somebody's, it has happened to me. There are people in our school life, should we say, who have gone really like a little bit funny with me. They don't really want to speak to me much anymore, you know, and that really will eat at me for a while. But I kind of have to go through those emotions and then come out the other side and think, actually, that isn't my problem. That isn't my problem, and I don't necessarily need that person in my life anyway. It's the problem. The problem lies with them. The problem lies with them and their understanding and the fact that they're uncomfortable. I don't need to be worried about that. I'm doing what I'm doing because I've got my whys in place and I've got my family that I want to make a better life for, like the rest of us. Okay, but the changes can be positive. Changes in others can be really positive as well. Okay, so you can have a real positive impact on those around you as well. So as you travel on your journey to be the best version of yourself, you're going to start to glow inside and out. Okay, you're going to shine really bright. The passion is going to be there. The law of attraction will come into place when you're, you know, really buzzing. You're glowing from your business. You're shining. All of these wonderful things happen to you. The law of attraction will fall into place and you will attract your tribe, okay? This will inspire others as well to do the same because they can see the good it's having on you. It can, though, as we've mentioned, highlight imperfections in others, okay? So you might inspire others to make changes themselves, but like I said, if people start to distance themselves or ignore you, it's their loss. It's their loss, not yours, okay? So I just want to end this with a quote actually from Nora, from her book, because I think it's just perfect to sum up everything that we've talked about. I hope you've all got a lot through it. I'm going to go back through the comments after and I'll reply after because there's quite a lot there now. Just to sum up, one of the things, it just, if you have, like I say, haven't read this, definitely get yourself a copy and have a read. It just sums it all up. So this is a quote from her. Never turn down the volume of your ambition just because people don't like the noise. Okay, really, really quite powerful. So I hope that was okay. I hope you get something from it. Really, really do think about your circles and really work hard to make them the best that they can be based on obviously where you want to go in your life. Make sure they inspire you, they are there to support you, push you to do more, to be the best version of you, because that's ultimately what we all want for each other, isn't it? Okay, so thank you so much for watching. Thank you for having me, and I'm looking forward to seeing some more of this amazing training today. So have a great day, guys, and I'll see you later.